Hello dear fellows, I'm Rudi Messiah. Welcome again to Heavy Talk. This is the second episode of the rare metal albums, and excuse me for this voice, I'm sick. The track that I played in the beginning of this video is from a great album for a great guitarist, James Murphy, Feeding the Machine. Now, who is James Murphy? Of course, many of you know, and many others doesn't know. For me, James Murphy is like the anonymous soldier or the secret weapon. He always participates in certain bands and projects and always elevate that band or the music to a higher level. He's in that, in my opinion, similar to Andy Sneap, who is now with Judas Priest, but he's been like a great producer for I don't know how much. A great example of an album with James Murphy is Testament, The Gathering. The Gathering is a little bit maybe different from other Testament albums in a certain way. Of course, because Skolnick is not there, that for sure plays a part. But who doesn't like this album? And it's produced by Andy Sneap, to my knowledge. One of the greatest metal albums of all time, Testament, The Gathering. Also, James Murphy played in Low, Testament album. Also a great album. You can feel the touch of James Murphy in these albums. He has special touch of extremely heavy, extremely melodic, and harmonized guitar. I think this is the greatest thing in his playing style. He was a guest on one of Nevermore's The Godless Endeavor album. James also played with Obituary, Cause of Death. He played with Death. Of course, Scream Bloody Gore or Spiritual Healing. Spiritual Healing is not like the best Death album, but it was the beginning. So the album I'm talking about now is one of his solo albums. I thought this is the only solo album, and turned out there's an album, Conversions, called Conversions, before Feeding the Machine. I hadn't the time to listen to it, but I will, because when I was preparing for this episode, I discovered there's an album prior to Feeding the Machine. Feeding the Machine is one hell of an album. And you can hear his influences like Al Di Meola. And James have gathered a great pantheon of musicians in this. The fixed rhythm section is Steve DiGiorgio, who is the bassist of Death for the three most important album of Death, who are Human, Individual, and Symbolic. And James and Steve, they have this very heavy metal playing style. At the same time, they have other, influences in the prog, in the fusion, sometimes a jazzy touch. So I think these two, they really go along as two players. The drummer on the album is Dean Castronova, who is now the drummer of Journey, and this guy is a very legendary drummer also. He played on Ozzy Osmosis. He played on many important albums for Steve Vai, for Tony McAlpine. I can't recall now everything. So these three, James, Steve, and Dean, made a great job. Of course, the music is written by James. You can hear the brilliance of James' style. He's an extreme metal guitarist, but at the same time, he's no less as a guitar hero than Jason Becker. Oh, Dean Castronova played with Jason Becker on one of his albums. On the other hand, the vocalists on the album are not really well known, and there are many secret weapons of vocalists in this album. Of course, Chuck Billy, his buddy, sang one of the songs. The song that I played in the beginning is sang by John West, and John West was the replacement of D.C. Cooper in Royal Hunt. Great harmonies, great melodies in that song. The singer that sang two songs, called Clark Brown, And this guy, I really love his voice. I don't know, to my knowledge, I don't know where this guy is now or with whom he sings. He gave me Phil Anselmo touches. You can hear the power in the voice and the performance of this guy. There's a song also that is sang by two unknown vocalists, at least to me. You have Chris Long, who I thought this guy is Rob Flynn when I first heard him. Great performance, listen to this. You are this way. Your feelings release, now you're blinded by hate. I don't know if the change has just a way. Unbearable existence, life is into the spirit. Can't you see, can't you see? Into your eyes again. You're so blind, so... And in the middle section of this song, there's clean vocals, very nice vocals by a deceased vocalist. It's called Trent Gardner. He passed away like, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. It wasn't me, still reflecting off the walls. It got me going when distant mirrors bent the angle halls. Judgment is right. So you can hear the amount of talent in this album. The rest are instrumentals, two of them are covers, and amazing music. Listen to this, how sweet this music is. I think James is a very underrated guitarist, has been a session player with enormous number of bands and projects that I have never heard of before, if you check his discography. Listen to this album, you will thank me. Thank you for staying with me in this heavy talk. See you later.